Hello, and welcome to another episode of Love and Business. We are Lemoyne and Crystal Robinson, and we are here to help you dominate in love and business. If you and your spouse are ready to cultivate a healthy relationship and a mindset for business partnership, or you need to work on communication skills and develop strategies for long-term success and legacy building, this is going to be the community for you.
Absolutely. That's the point. We're creating a community of like-minded boss couples who are ready to dominate and thrive through raising a family, establishing multiple successful businesses. We gain a lot of knowledge and experience along the way, and we're ready to share with everybody the blueprint and create a community so that we can continue to develop new and exciting blueprints.
Absolutely. So we have a special treat for everybody today. We have a live studio audience. So let's hear from our live studio audience. It's about 1,000. No, it's all right.
1,000 atoms.
Sorry. We feel like it's about 1,000 people in the room. But this is our first time that we've had a live audience. So this is going to be super exciting today. Yeah. We are here live from Fayetteville,
Arkansas.
Yes. Yeah. Where there's nobody here but us and the other people that are attending the Live Your Dreams Live 2023.
And Walmart Associates.
Yes, and Walmart. Let me tell you, Walmart is absolutely fantastic around this place. So we are super excited to be here for the Live Your Dreams Live Conference. And so, since we are here for the Live Your Dreams Live Conference, we're going to be talking about living your dreams as well. So I hope you're ready to tap in and share some of your dreams with us later today. But before we get too far, I need you guys to to share. I need you to hashtag live and where you're streaming from today.
Absolutely. So these last couple of weeks we've been kind of on the go, right? We just got back from Maryland on Sunday, and now we're in Arkansas today, right? But a lot of that is really because we have a desire to live our dreams, right? We have a desire to pursue something, right? To pursue something that we feel like we can build together. When we talk about living our dreams, I can't think of a better way to execute on that plan than to do it with my life partner, right? I think that makes it a world better, right? I think that helps expedite the process versus trying to do things on your own, right? So I really think that's important. Secondly, when I think about all of the traveling and things that we do, I think about the sacrifices that we make to get to where we want to be, right? And I really do feel like that's part of the mindset shift that we have to get to, right? It's gonna cost you something, right? I genuinely believe that paying the money for something is the easiest part of the transaction, right? You swipe your debit card for something, that's the easiest part of the transaction. Sometimes it seems like that's the hurdle that we get stuck on, but really, for the most part, that's the easiest part of the transaction. It's the mindset work. It's the work that happens behind the scenes after the fact, right? I think about it's this Bible story where God tells Saul, I believe, to go into the kill. I think it's the Amalekites or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah,
right?
just go read the Bible.
But it's something with an 8 though. I know that. And he does it, but what he doesn't do is kill everybody and everything like he was instructed, right? He did not sacrifice everything. He kept the king alive and some of the livestock that they deemed to be good. And what that made me think about was you want to live your dreams, right? You think of a moment in time where you have your perfect 10 day. And I would challenge you guys to do that. Think about what your perfect 10 day looks like, but you want to live your dreams, but you're not willing to sacrifice anything, right? And then the things that you are willing to sacrifice are the things that you think may be sacrificable, but the things that you want to keep, you kind of keep, right? Because that's what he did in the Bible. He said, hey, we're going to keep these sheep. We're going to keep these cows over here because they're good. They're the best of what we got, best of what they got. But that wasn't the instructions, right? You don't have to keep that morning show that you listen to, right? You don't have to keep, that food that you're eating that may not be serving you. You don't have to keep the money that you want to keep in your pocket right? Instead of investing in yourself, you should be investing in some program or something that's going to help you get to the point where you can live your dreams, right? So my question to you is, what are you willing to sacrifice, right? What are you going to sacrifice when you hear the word that says, hey, this is how you can live your dream. This is how you can get to the level that you want to get to. This is how you can help build your marriage. This is how you can help build your business. What does that look like for you? And when that sacrifice, when those orders come down the pipe, are you going to be willing to execute them in its entirety? Because see, Saul executed. He killed a lot of things, right? He killed a lot. And then he said what he kept. He was doing it as if he was going to sacrifice it unto the Lord because he wanted to give the Lord a burnt offering, right? But that's not what the instructions were. That's not what he asked him to do. He said, go and kill everything. Because when you kill everything, when you die to yourself to live your dreams, your purpose-driven life, right? When you die to yourself to do and be and to live your dreams in the way that Christ called you to do it, and the way that honors not only Christ, but your spouse, your legacy, your family, what does that look like? What does that look like? Right. So I just want to jump into this thing, man. I mean, it's,
I see you.
I
mean, you got fired. You got steam coming from the top of your head over here. Live studio audience is just like, oh my God. You know, I'm with you 1,000%. This is usually me going hard in the paint, but Lemoyne has decided to do that today, so I might just cross my leg and sit back and watch the game. I will say that you said a lot, so we need to pick apart, right, some of this stuff, because you took the people real fast. And so clearly we're here at Live Your Dreams Live. Yeah. And I would say that we have started to actually experience what we feel like is, a part of our dream life, right? But I also feel like a lot of times, I don't want to say we do a disservice to people by not necessarily explaining like all of the details as it relates to what it looks like to get there, which I think that you kind of ran through some of that then, right? Like some of the sacrifices, but maybe we should take a rewind, right? And then break down some of the sacrifices that we've made up until this point. Because we're here at Live Your Dreams, not just because I'm speaking at the event, shameless plug, but we're here because we're still on a path and a trajectory, right, to continue to live our dreams. Yeah. Right. And so a lot of times I think that the sacrifice part is overlooked by a lot of people. And for us, that sacrifice in the beginning stages was super important to even get us, to where we are now in life. So in the beginning stages for us, the sacrifice may have been, especially when we were still working our, our 9 to 5s or 8 to 5s or whatever the case may be. It was like we wasn't taking off work unless we was coming to an event like this. Right. Like all of our vacation time was, it was piled up, and until we had some type of conference or event that was going to help to shift our mindset, that's when we took off work. We didn't take off because we didn't feel like going. We didn't take off because it was our birthday. No, we were still going to work, and still doing what we had to do and building behind the scenes when the average person, it's my birthday. Yeah. So I'm off work. Exactly. I'm just saying. It's my birthday, so I took off today. Yeah. Okay. Chris is behind the scenes over here giving us a frown face. But that's the reality of it, is that we did some things that the average person doesn't do. So I would challenge, those that are watching today, survey your life, right? If you want to live the life of your dreams, are you willing, to live a semi sort of life of sacrifice right now in order to get there? Right. Because if you're trying to live your dreams right now and the means aren't necessarily there for it, or you hadn't necessarily put in the work to get there, it's going to put you further back, from getting to the place where you really want to be. Would you not agree? I agree. And part of that is really, when you start doing the small things, that's kind of when your mind starts to grow. And Crystal say, she made the statement that we're kind of living our dream now. And I want to, I say that, but now the dream has morphed, right? It becomes. But we got to where we was striving to at that point, right? Oh, absolutely. And now we realize there is another level. There's another level. If you get to that mark, you like, oh, there's more. Oh, it costs $500,000 to fuel that boat. Okay, then great. Yeah. All right, yeah. So it's just a tank of gas. It's just a tank of gas now. So absolutely. But yes, I do believe that those sacrifices that happen. I read this book, or maybe I heard someone say,
because it's probably more or less I heard him say it. I ain't read a book.
Amen. Amen
On
to
the reg. So
come
on. But you'll know what a man is about to do by what he's doing today. Right?
Yeah, you definitely heard somebody say that. That's good.
You can tell what somebody is about to do by the things that they are doing today.
Come on,
right?
Somebody.
So if you look at your today, what does it look like you're going to be doing tomorrow, right? If I looked at your action all day today, what does it look like? What do you think I would guess that you are preparing to do tomorrow? If you look at Noah and you see him building a boat, you think he'd go be sailing somewhere tomorrow or at some point, right?
Yeah.
If you see somebody doing, digging a foundation, you know that they're going to be building something tomorrow. So you should ask yourself, what did I do today that prepares me for my tomorrow, right? What am I doing today to get me to the place that I want to be? If you want to be a singer, if you're not practicing singing, then I'm not thinking that you're trying to sing tomorrow.
Come on.
Right? If you want to be a professional athlete or an accountant or whatever it may be, but now zoom out and focus in on you.
Yeah.
Right? Focus in on you. What does that look like for you? Is it that small sacrifice? Right? Or I want to get in a better financial state, right? Hey, what does that look like?
I think what's challenging for most people is that when you are in that stage of having to sacrifice what you are, comfortable with doing, or at least what feels good to you.
Yeah.
In that space, it feels like it's taking too long, right? Or it doesn't feel good, so you don't want to keep going. And I think that what we have done in the past is just decided that we were going to be committed to that part of the process, regardless to how it felt.
Absolutely.
Whether we, didn't feel like going to a place, or didn't feel like, continuing to do certain tasks, or we didn't feel like investing in something new or different,
right.
Or afraid. And for us, we do things afraid. And I don't think we say that enough. I say it when people ask, right? But the truth of the matter is, it's not that we're just out here feeling invincible, so to speak.
No, absolutely not.
We have some, some scary moments, but we just do it anyway.
Right.
And I think that when we move consistently from a place of sacrifice, I don't want to waste that sacrifice.
No.
So for me, then, when I do get afraid, I say, well, forget it. I'm still going to move forward anyway, because I've already sacrificed so much. There is no way I'm going to allow fear, you know what I'm saying, exactly. or in this space to stop me from continuing to move forward. Yeah,
and the way that I think that most people can get to the point of starting to have that sacrifice is your vision has to be a lot bigger than whatever it is that you're toiling with, right? You have to create a vision as a guy, right? As a man, as a husband, as a dad. It's important that we create a vision, that we have the opportunity to foster that with our families and things like that. That's not something that I've done all of our marriage, right? That's not something that we've done all of our marriage. But what I realize is when we start to do it, and then we say, hey, that helps lead and guide the decision-making process, right? So when you want to do something, you say, well, does that line up with the vision that we have, right? No. So that's, that could be a small sacrifice that has to be made to make sure that we stay in line with what the vision is for the family. But I want to circle back to the story, right? Because you were saying about sacrifices and things that we think are good, right? And that's exactly what Saul did, right? He thought that it was good to keep those cows, right? He thought it was good to keep. He even kept the king alive. Now, why? I don't know. Because, he leading the people. God done said, go down there and kill everything. Don't let nothing live. I'm talking about get some round up and kill the grass and everything. I'm talking about don't let nothing make it. And he didn't do that. He thought he was doing something good by allowing one or two things but you don't know what that means on the back end, right? It may look small, right? To give up a Twix, right? To say, hey, look, I'm gonna give up this Twix, right? I'm gonna give up. And this is me, right? I'm gonna give up the prank for the Steve Harvey Morning Show, right? The nephew told me I ain't not yet. I'm talking to myself now. The whole part gets what y'all do. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
So
continue. I'm sorry.
But it's things like that. What is attached to it, right? It may seem small, but what can it grow to, right? And that could be a bad growth or a good growth, right?
So look, I was listening to this training earlier today, and the guy says, in reference to what you just said, he said everything that feels bad is not always bad. And everything that feels good is not always good.
I agree, absolutely.
And I think, sacrificing, doing things that we don't want to do, being in uncomfortable places, moving in spite of fear, does not. I don't know when it ever feels good, honestly. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what level you're at. But if you're going towards this direction of living your God-given dreams, right? Yeah. Then it doesn't necessarily have to feel good.
It doesn't, but I think once you start, I think it's almost like the gym. When you start hurting and you start saying, okay, but that soreness is there, but then you start to see some results. So then you like,
just keep leaning in.
I lean in. Yeah. Right. It's like paying your tithes and offerings or sowing a seed into someone. You're like, hey, yeah, that's a sacrifice, but I know and trust and believe that this is going to come back to me. But when we start doing that for ourselves, right? When we start doing that for our vision, for our legacy, right? That's when it starts to really become very personal. Right? That's when it becomes very personal, because those are things that our kids see, right? Those are things that your kids see, your family sees. Those are the things that that can help you change some generational things, because your mom can see that, your dad can see that, your uncles, your cousins, your nieces, nephews, whomever, right? Whatever, the world can see it. And you can make an impact. Yeah. Right? And that's really our desire, right? Is to change some generations, right? Because as we've grown, we've seen where my family don't have it right. They don't get it right all the time. I'm giving them, I'm saying all the time, my brothers just say something else, but that's the truth of the matter, right? It is my heart's desire for them to see something that may spark them to do something different.
Well, I think so.
On a major scale,
you use a key word, right? You use the word desire. And if anybody goes on the journey of wanting to live their dreams, if you don't necessarily, wholeheartedly desire to do that, then you're going to get a lot of stop, start, never get there type deal. And I think for us, at some point, something triggered, and a lot of people ask me, like, when did you? And I'm like, I can't just say, right, that there was a moment or a thing. It was just once I came into this realization of who I am, whose I am, and what I was created to do and be, right? Like, once I gathered that, then I realized, okay, I can have, I can do, and I can be. Yeah. Once I gathered all of those things, then I have like this great desire, right, to actually see all of that stuff to come to fruition. Yeah. Now that doesn't come, without work, in between it. But the desire was so great to get to where I wanted to be that I didn't care what I had to do in the process of getting there. And a lot of people, they say that they want a thing, but they don't really have desire. You know what I'm saying? And the desire is something super important to have if you're going to go on a path of saying you want to live your dreams. Like, this ain't I want to, have a 500 square foot 1-bedroom apartment type of deal. Okay, you don't want, this ain't a tiny house type of. Now, if that's your dream, that's your dream. That's your dream, right? But I'm saying from a perspective of, hey, I got this big audacious dream that I want to, I want to touch this many people in the world. I want to inspire people to activate purpose and live after, their God-given dreams. I want to see other couples, dominate in love and business, right? I want to put my life on the, on the big screen and show you, mistakes and examples of how it was done, wrong, and how you can get it right faster,
right? The edited version.
The edited version. But that's a big dream. It is. Right? And so I gotta have a desire for that.
And you're right. I think that is super important. But here's what I think. Here's where I think that desire even develops. Is being around other individuals that create, that you see it, right? You expand your vision for it, right? It's
you can't get that just from where you've been and where you came from, especially if it doesn't look like a big, bold, audacious thing.
Exactly. So when it may be a sacrifice to travel, to go and see, go to a conference, right? But it's a reward in being able to see and develop friendships and community with individuals that are on the same pace as you, right? And that in turn creates a desire because you know that it's possible, right? You just know, okay, well now I have to pay the price, right? Not from a financial price, right? I have to pay the attachment price.
Well, most people haven't gotten past the fact that money is just paper. Like a lot of times,
it's currency because it keeps on flowing.
It keeps flowing. And if you can change your mindset to believe that money is currency, if we define it as currency, right, and it's meant to flow, there is no reason why people should have an issue with letting it go, right? And that was a big key point for us when we realized that money is currency and it just flows. Now we're not stuck in, let me keep it in my hand. You can't live your God-given dreams if you got your hands like this. No. It's just not going to work. Like, you got to be willing to invest in yourself, right? You got to be willing to
unlock the flow.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? And stop thinking that, like, I'm thinking about this weekend's event. We should have had an arena, you know what I'm saying, with 5,000 people in here that was ready to live their dreams, and the reality of it is most people don't understand how important it is to be in the room. Most people don't understand how important it is to pay the price of admission.
That's it.
You're not going to get access to your dreams for free.
That's right, Kim. Unlock the
You know what I'm saying? Like, we hear all the time, even salvation wasn't free, right?
It's not.
Jesus paid the cost for that. You know what I'm saying?
And you still got
to come to
it still costs you something.
Something.
That's what I'm saying. Is it going to cost you your friends, right? Because they're not on the same page, right?
Oh,
is it going to cost you,
how many times have we changed circumstances?
Emotional, like an emotional charge because you think you're losing something, right? You think you're losing something. Losing fat hurts.
My God.
It hurts. And you think, that it's
it's a good loss though.
Yeah, but it's a good loss. It's because some of those don't serve you, right? You think it may serve you, but it don't serve you. You know what I mean? But absolutely, I think the desire to want something more is just as important as the journey. Like, that is a super thing because you have a lot of individuals that just don't desire. They don't have a desire to do anything different, right? They don't have a desire, and it's strange, to me, and I'm sure it's a little, strange and baffling to you because you're like, man, what is that? Why are you okay with, just that? Like, you're not even wanting to. It's not from a money perspective. Get that off because that's a byproduct. It's the purpose, people. It's the purpose, right? What is it that you are called to do? Right, but when you operate in what you're called to do, then God finances that, right? That's financed by the kingdom.
Well, I think so. I'm glad you said that because I don't think that we was necessarily on a pursuit, to actually live our dreams until we started to pursue purpose, and so that's, I think, a very important step that people need to take, right?
Yeah,
they do need to pursue. And when I say pursue purpose, I'm saying you need to pursue your God-given purpose, right? Like, you need to be in a space of where you're asking God and you're communing with God. Like, what did you put me here for? Who am I here to serve, right? What is it that I was created to do? So that when you start getting those answers, and it's always going to be like this large, massive, big picture. And I'm not saying that you need to, now go and jump to the end. Like, it's not going to be possible to go and grab that big picture, but you can start step by step as he's giving you answers on what your God-given purpose is. You start moving in that direction.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. As you're moving in that direction, your desire to live your dreams is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
But of course, in some of these situations, the sacrifices may get larger, right?
Right.
The scenery may change multiple times, right? The cost of admission may increase. My God, has it increased? But the idea here is once you ask God what that thing is, you now have to trust that everything else in front of you is already taken care of. Why? Because you didn't come up with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't say, okay, I want to do this or I want to be this. No, you sought after God. He gave you the download. Now you get to say, all right, God, you said it.
Right.
Because that's what I like being able to do. Oh, okay, God, you said I can have that.
And roll.
Oh, you said, you know, and so I love the space and the mindset that we're in now, because it is this magnified level of belief. Like, we cannot be deterred at this point, because we fed our faith, we fed our mindset, we sought after God, we're seeking after purpose, and now there's no turning back, because we know that we know that we
Absolutely.
know
Yep.
what we know.
You're right.
You can't stop us now, because we've read the word, we believe the word. Oh.
Yep.
And now we live in the word.
We've tasted the burnt fat of the beast.
Yep.
And it is good.
Well, my God.
Let me stop.
That is not the scripture I was thinking of. However, that will work.
Taste and see.
Yeah. I was thinking more so like, multiply and subdue and have dominion.
Yeah, okay,
but
that's good.
If you want to eat the fat of the beast, it's in the Bible.
No,
read your Bible.
That order came before.
Okay. Yeah, we was in Genesis, but I should have said the scripture so you could continue.
Yeah, it's in between Genesis and Revelation.
As Nikita says, huh? It's somewhere in between Genesis and Revelation. Amen.
Hey, but that is, when you are talking about love and business, when you start talking about purpose, I can't think of a better way to execute that than with my wife, as I started saying that earlier, right? Because the Bible says one can put 1,000 to flight, two can put 10,000 to flight. Now that's biblical, but I also read something. It was a statement in the whole book.
He's reading.
But it was a story about like the Clydesdale horses, right? Where one can pull like 4,000 pounds, but two, I don't know why, but they can pull up to like 12,000 pounds, right? So it's like
the horses can do it.
Hey,
And I don't know if the Lord put them together, but He put us together.
That's it. So, but when you chase after that thing, right? I think it's super important for people to be involved. If your spouse is in business, I think it's important that you get involved in some level, right? Some level. I'm not saying that it got to be the whole thing. Even if you don't have a business, I think it's important to start that, right? To get that vision and to understand what the seeds are that you're planting as it relates to it, right? Yeah. Because those are things that transcend time, right? It goes from generation to generation to generation, but it also gives you such an enrichment from the inside, right? That's the real value. That's the real worth, right? That we want to, that you want to have. I had someone passed away once, and I was like, man,
they only gonna pass away once, baby.
Yeah, you're right. I was just saying, someone died. Right?
They died.
But
I just wanted to let you know, because you said it once, and I just want to make it clear.
They be riding.
Well, if we can raise them up, continue. I'm sorry. I just had to,
your face level
let you know. He gonna die much time.
Hey, we serve a God.
Unless.
We
raise them up.
You gotta say, yet.
I'm sorry. Keep back to your point. I'm gonna forgot.
Yeah, I totally.
You forgot the point. You said somebody died once, is what you said.
But I don't remember.
And I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't gonna be a twice. Because who said that when they said people died that they never died before? That's how I felt when you said that.
You say that.
People died that they never died before. My God.
I'll stop you when you start lying. Right now, you can keep on going.
I'm sorry, y'all. I messed up his point, but I'm so sorry. But you still don't remember it?
I don't.
I'm so sorry. But that was a valid. It was a valid, interjection.
Yeah. It was fun.
Because I didn't want you to lead them in the wrong direction.
I was just talking about value.
Yeah.
What's the value? What do you bring to the earth? Right? What is your purpose? And it's not. I know it ain't to be the best line worker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At whatever it is that you do. You're like, what's your purpose? I think you have to dig into that a little bit, right? When you start talking about living your dreams, right? We went to a conference last week called Wealthy Revolution.
Yeah.
Right. I love the name of it. I love the host of that, Robert and LaShawn Holland. I'd never say Robert. I don't know why, but
Rob.
Rob. That's my guy.
Yes.
But we did this exercise where they said, picture your perfect 10 day,
Yeah, they did.
And what does that look like, right? Like, take yourself to that place, right? What does that look like? Your perfect 10-day. You are the artist. You get to paint this canvas however you want to, is with broad strokes, with skinny strokes. What does that look like for you, right? And when you get that in your mind, when I did it, mine was really about who was I going to serve that day, right? Was it going to be my kids? Was it going to be my wife? Was it going to be a client? Was it who? In what capacity? How was I going to serve them? But I knew I was going to serve someone. In what capacity are you serving? Because Jesus said he came to serve and not to be served, right? I want to serve. In what capacity? What can I help you with, right? What can I help you obtain today, right?
That's a good point you're making with serve, though. So I think I talked about it when we was at the Wealth of Revolution Live. I think we talked about it after we left from setting up and stuff like that or whatever.
Maybe refresh me, please.
Well,
as I take a sip.
Yes, serving. I really do feel like that is our secret sauce.
You know what? Yeah, we did speak about that.
We did talk about it.
You made some statements and I listened.
We talked about that. But what we discussed in regards to serving was that it doesn't really matter to us how much we're worth, how much we have, who we are, where we come from, where we've been. We are always going to be in the room serving.
Yeah.
And I think people underestimate the importance, right, of serving. And you may wonder, like, why does that even matter, about living your dreams? Well, the fact of the matter is we've served people that, we didn't necessarily have to serve.
Absolutely.
We've served people that we've aspired to be like, we've served people that are, friends or family or whatever. And it's serving from a space of, I don't want nothing back from you.
No.
It is an honor for me to serve.
Absolutely.
And in any way or capacity that we can. Where in the beginning stages it might have not been financially, but we would, we'd stay and, set up a table, put up a table, whatever, and we're only saying this now to prove a point, not because we need everybody to know that, because this is by default who we are and what we do.
Right.
But I think about when I did the speakers training with Eric Thomas. Several years ago, and I'm in there and everybody, disperses out of the room. And I see that him and his wife are cleaning toilets at the venue, right? Which was at their church. But they're cleaning toilets together, taking out trash and cleaning up the venue. Everybody gone now. And I'm just kind of hanging around because I'm like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, there is no way that you guys, here we are, #1 motivational speaker in the world. They don't have, at the time, they didn't have a cleaning staff. Because they said this is our way to make sure that we stay humble on this process.
Right.
Now they already was multimillionaires at this time, #1 motivational speaker in the world. Him and his wife were cleaning toilets and taking out trash. And even though I was already serving at that point, I said never in a day would I not serve.
Yeah.
Because I understood what that was going to mean for me if I could do that and elevate through life at the same time.
Right.
I stayed there and helped take that trash out. I stayed there and helped put those chairs up. I stayed there and helped put those tables up. If we try to get to a space and we too big for that space, I don't want to be knocked out of my dream life.
No.
Right? I want to be in a space that we were called and created to be, but I want to be there in service.
Exactly. And I really think that that's really what, because again, if God said he came to serve and not be served, why do you think he'd give you a purpose
and not serve
not of service? Right. It's just, what does that service look like, right? So I really genuinely believe that it's always a level of service that's attached to whatever it is that we're doing. And as long as we're serving, then we can put ourselves in a position, in a posture to, one, be honorable to God, and second, be honorable to the people, right? Because it's not necessarily about us. It's about them.
Right.
Right? And it's about us displaying our heart and love for God through them, right? I serve my wife, right? And, and service sometimes look like sacrifice until you look at it differently.
Man, he serves his wife. This dude to this day is the ironer in the house. He gonna iron whatever, and if he don't iron it,
but
it's wrinkled.
That's more selfish for me because I don't want to. I need an accurate representation of me leaving the house.
Hey, either way, it's still service to me, you know. But I'm saying like I think
like that. I don't know who that.
Now if my mama on here, I'm telling you, don't be talking about my people now.
She be hooking the girls' clothes.
Thank you, my mama iron. She taught me. I just didn't. I don't like the iron.
I got you. Okay.
Thank you, Mama. He said it. I didn't.
I'm sorry, my people.
Thank you. But the point is, we still are by default servers.
Absolutely.
Right. And I think that that's super important. If you have a desire to live your dreams, you should do it in service, right? On your way to your goal.
Absolutely. And if you desire to, once you understand your purpose, go serve someone that's already kind of in that lane.
That's our secret service.
Go and carry their bags.
That's it.
Right? Go and mop and clean the floor. Do whatever. I don't know. Serve for free.
For free.
Serve and do it, not expecting anything, because one of those things is the knowledge and the wisdom that you're going to get from that. But everything you do is a seed.
It's a seed.
Right? Now, it can grow. It's going to grow. But if it's going to be something that you really want to harvest, or something that you just going to be like, oh my God, I planted that seed and now it's choking out my harvest.
Right. And it's weird. It's weird that we're even adding this, to a conversation in regards to, living your dreams. But I wanna keep driving it home, because I think a lot of people think that in my dream house, not house, but in my dream life, I am being served.
Right. Exactly.
And that is just not what it is, right? It really
like.
And I'm here at Live Your Dreams Live in Fayetteville, Arkansas,
where she's
listed as the speaker, and these folks are having they calling me days before saying, Crystal, I'm telling you right now, if you come in here, we're going to have security to pull you out. I want to go help set up tables. I want to help decorate the tables. I think they shoot us off on purpose earlier today and asked us to go run an errand, because they knew, I'm going to be in there doing what I do. But I don't care if my face is on a flyer. Yeah. I want to be in the room serving, because that's where you really learn.
That is it.
That is right. But people look over that. Exactly. They want their face and their name on a flyer. They want to sit and be served wet water.
Exactly. Wet water.
Yeah,
that's it.
And get the only orange and green Skittles in the bowl. They want a white towel and a black towel and a cup of Sonic Crush ice. You know what I'm saying? Like, just dumb stuff. But you out here living your dreams. And that's not what it's about.
It's not. Because that becomes then a facade. That becomes very self-centered.
Right. And you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Right. What's your motive, right? So it's almost like, don't serve and then go and, I think the Bible says something about that, like, right? Don't like help your brother. Don't feed him and then go and tell everybody that you did it.
You did.
You know what I mean? Or and it's like, you can see that, but that's not the way that you grow. Mm-mm. Right? That's not the way that you grow. You have to sacrifice something, right? Whether it's you or your internal thinking, right? To redevelop a new mind, which is in Christ, which is in your purpose, right? Which is in the things that are going to grow into something and manifest into something that's greater, right? Or is it something that's going to be self-serving to you, right? And you alone.
Yeah. Because
he says everything that you do it as if you do it unto the Lord. When you serve the least of them, you serve me also.
Yeah.
Right. So I dap the janitor up at the facility. Right. I speak to everybody. It's everybody that served me. I make it a point to like a waiter. I make it a point to try to get their name and address them by their name. Right. Because I want them to know I thank you for doing what you're doing, even though you may be doing it to pay your light bill or to make sure that you make ends meet. But what does I look at service totally different, and I ain't talking about a church service. I'm talking about serving. Yeah. Right. I look at serving others totally different.
Well, I think the whole gist of our discussion for tonight is something you just said, which is mindset.
That's it.
Now, because if you're on here and you're gonna be at the event tomorrow, then great. But if you're on here and you're not going to be at the event tomorrow, I'm not going to tell you everything that I'm talking about, but I think that it's important for me to at least mention that's something that is super important if you want to pursue your dreams is mindset. Mastery of mindset, though. And, most people they have no clue what that really means, right? Like, we had a little pitter patter on the way. We was leaving the house this morning, going to the airport. And Lamont got ready to turn the radio on. But a part of my mindset mastery is that when I'm in the car, I'm always learning. I didn't care that him and my sister and Michelle was in the car. It has absolutely nothing to do with it. It was the fact of the matter that I am mastering my mindset in every single opportunity that I get to do that. It sometimes it even gets so to the point where if I feel like there's too much noise in my head, even when I'm in the shower, I'll take my phone and sit it on the top of the shower and listen to mindset training, because it's just that important. Like, there is no opportunity that I don't take to learn, that I don't take to master my mindset. And if you, however old you are, if you're not on the path of where it is that you need to be at, you have to realize that up until that point, you probably put in a lot of junk. Right. So how much time is it going to take to get it out? And for me, I'm saying I'm doing a lifetime dedication of mindset mastery. And you can't tell me no different. That's the only way to get to the life of your dreams, is to master your mindset. Yeah. So for me, it don't matter how uncomfortable everybody else is in the car. I need to listen to something that's going to feed my mindset. Now, I can make a sacrifice to it. You don't want to listen to the training? Well, guess what we're going to listen to? We're going to listen to some gospel music, because I can feed my soul.
And then she put on the slow.
And I will put on the worship. Do you hear me? Because my mindset is important, right? And we're joking about it now, but most people won't even make that switch. Yeah. You won't even say that my environment is just that important, that even if somebody else gets agitated about it, then I'm not going to do it, whatever. Like, you can say what you want to say, but I know what I'm doing. I know that it's working. Yeah. I know I ain't going to stop it. I know what Tom Jones doing for you. You can tell all the jokes in the world.
Well, Tom Jones don't have a show anymore.
And Steve Harvey.
Yeah, Steve Harvey.
And the joke of the day. And the strawberry letter. I just want to know how much money is any of that making, how much life
not for
living
me. It ain't making
for anybody. And so most people don't want to trigger that off.
You're right, because they see it as just, I see it. Let the hose pipe get wet before the lawn does. Well, right? So I see it as minimal. I've seen it as minuscule, right? As irrelevant, right? Yeah, it's just something to get going in the morning, right?
Right.
But what you said is absolutely right? Every moment that you get to continue to enrich your mind, right?
Super important.
What does that look like? What does that look like? Input is junk. Output is junk. Yeah, absolutely right, Kim. If you're putting the wrong thing in, you can't, right? The Bible says out of the abundance of the heart, what does it say? The river flows, or the mouth speaks. The mouth speaks, right? So what are you putting into your heart? What are you putting into your subconscious that is now manifesting itself in your reality? In your reality.
That's just how it works. And we skim over that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even here recently, here I am, 3.5 weeks sober of candy, right? And you know, it's been a tough 3.5 weeks, but I was putting a lot of junk in my body, and guess what was coming out? Cavities. Oh yeah. I've had 14, 15 cavities filled.
Feelings going in,
coming out, and I'm still eating candy.
Copay after copay.
Filling them up, $300, $250 a pop. It don't make sense, does it? But I can sit around and say, well, candy is good. Well, apparently, my teeth have decided that it ain't good for me. Yeah. But for years, even after thousands of dollars worth of braces and retainers and rubber bands and whatnot, I'm still just throwing the candy in, getting cavity after cavity. But at some point in time, my brain needed the trigger to say, this is not good going in. Right. And we don't do that for ourselves a lot. Like, we're not being a filter for ourselves. You say you want to be at a place, but you're not working towards getting there. Like, you're not making the sacrifices, making the switches, doing the mindset work, feeding your brain what it needs to get so that the good stuff can come out. You're just saying it's okay if I watch TV for, X amount. I ain't watched this year. I don't know how much TV I've actually gotten the opportunity to watch, because I have done another switch. Yeah. I have done another switch to consume more information to now switch us to another level.
Sunday's about the only time.
Sunday about the only time, and my sister is here to attest that as soon as the movie come on, my head go like this. I'm knocked out. It's nap time. We're going to get that Sunday nap in. Do you hear me? But as I'm looking at my next level dream life, I said, well, I know what it feels like to make $1 million.
Yeah.
I know what it make how it feels to make 2 million, 3, 4, and 5. I have yet to be a decamillionaire though.
Yeah.
So I've set on the journey to be a decamillionaire.
In a year, but combined over some years. Right?
I want it in a year.
Yeah, you want it.
So what does that look like? As our current coach says, you can't be watching the idiot box all day long. That means I can't be watching TV.
Now you're right. Yeah. So but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it got to be,
well,
you have listen.
I'm saying go extreme.
So I saw this because I saw this show. I mean, I saw this picture that had it was 2 ladders side by side, and one ladder was a regular ladder. The second ladder had the rungs, like the first 5 rungs were missing on it, and then it had a rung, and then it had like the next 5 or 6 rungs were missing, and then the top part it had all of them. And it was like, hey, take little steps, right? You can't start from nothing, right, from the bottom of the ladder and then try to jump to the 5th rung of the ladder. Take step by step by step by step by step by step by step.
Now,
right?
Can I challenge that thought process?
You can.
Well, and not that it's going to be much different.
Okay.
But here's my definition of step by step, day by day. So for 3.5 weeks every day, I've chosen not to eat candy. Not that I said I was going to not eat candy for 3 weeks. And I regress to that goal.
But you've been disciplined in something else prior to that.
Everybody has, whether it's good or bad. You can be a disciplined smoker now, can't you? Because you smoke every day.
Okay.
You can be a disciplined alcoholic.
That's a different way to look at it.
Because discipline is transferable. We have all been you get up every day and you do the same thing every day. Now my pattern is I'm gonna get up and likely I'm gonna hit the snooze button from 5 to 5:15 to 5:30 to 5:45. I'm then gonna get up. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm then gonna brush my teeth. I'm then gonna use mouthwash. I'm then gonna go to the closet. Right? I'm disciplined to do the same thing every day. So everybody that's watching us today and in our live studio audience has a disciplined lifestyle in some ways. Yes. Okay. So you just got to trigger yourself to say, I'm going to take my step by step. I'm going to use my discipline in this arena. Okay. Discipline is transferable. We have to believe that though. We just decide that we can't trigger it, right? Like, you know how important candy is to me. Come on, somebody. We had a whole Sam's aisle on the back wall of our theater room.
So in your nightstand, like
in my nightstand. I had candy everywhere. Do you hear me? Like everywhere that I was gonna be, candy was there.
Like that person that got the Newport got a pack in the glove box.
You got one and one behind your ear.
Yeah, and one on the lip.
One on standby. And so if we could be, if I know that I can be disciplined enough to put candy everywhere that I'm gonna be, bad habit. Yeah. Then I know I can also be just as disciplined to decide day by day, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, that's facts. I can agree with that. I definitely agree with that 100%. You're absolutely right. Thank you for.
We should end. Yeah. So today's episode is if you gonna land right there. I mean, but just think about the thought process of that. We're all disciplined in some area of our life. Right. And then we also have to trigger our belief to say, if I can be disciplined in one area, I can be disciplined in all areas. Right. Because that same muscle is available to you.
Right. You just have to.
It's mindset training that gets you there.
That it only feels bad right now. That it only feels like a sacrifice right now.
But here's the deal. I feel better not eating candy.
Right. That's what I'm. Right. That's what I'm saying.
That's what's weird. My teeth feel a whole lot better. Now when I go to wash my mouth out in the morning, I don't get like this instant cold shock, right, from the water that I've been getting because I've been eating candy all this time. Like, we don't even think about the rewards from the sacrifice.
Well, see what would have happened though? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, well, why not just warm the water up, right? But that's what a lot of us do.
That's good.
That's what a lot of us do.
Why not just wash the warm water instead of stopping eating?
Exactly. Instead of making the change that's creating the problem, we'll make an adjustment, right, to continue to accommodate it. You know what I mean? Like that's what we do. That's what a lot of people do.
It ain't gonna get me to my dream life. I want to be in my dream life with all of the teeth that God gave me and not somebody else's.
Well, I think you already got your wisdom teeth out.
I know, but I want my teeth. You see what I'm saying? My dream life encompasses my teeth and not some miss. and that's a good point. You know what I'm saying? That you make is that, you know what I'm saying, we'll go to making these adjustments, and when we do that, now we've sacrificed our dream life.
Right. Because we're accommodating the very thing that could be holding us down, right? We're making room for the anchor.
Mm-hmm.
We're making room for the anchor.
That's good.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never thought we making room for the extra weight. You know what I'm saying? That's keeping us in bondage, right?
Come on.
We're making room for it.
Yeah.
Man, that's dang.
He's having a moment. Let him have it.
Yeah.
Let's sit in that. I think we should sit in it. Is this a moment where we should breathe?
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just thinking about how many times, instances that, yeah, I've literally made room for. I've made accommodations, right? You know what I'm saying?
Here's one that's funny to me that I did.
Okay, because I was finna say, don't point at me now.
I'm gonna talk about me. Here go one that's funny. When I'm full, you know, they had taught us that little trick that you could drink a little lemon juice or a little lime juice, and then it'll make a little room.
Drink a little warm.
Just accommodating for space. Now, I'm not telling y'all that trick so that you can go and eat more. I'm just saying that I was like, now that's a good idea.
That's it.
If I want one more slice of this deep dish Chicago pizza, if I would have had a little lemon juice, my God, I could have ate another slice.
Yeah. We used to do that at Pizza Hut. We would drink Dr. Pepper because it makes you burp. And
make more room.
Make more room. So
instead of just not eating more.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But that's how we go through life. We keep making, like you said, these accommodations to keep us stuck.
Exactly.
Because that's what they really do.
So if you got bad spending habits, now you just go out and you go and get another job.
Struck a nerve with our live studio audience. He has struck a nerve.
You go and get another 9 to 5 versus creating a business, or just changing your spending habits, right? Being transparent with what you need and what you really don't need, right? And then you need to challenge yourself on why you're spending, right? Is it like a emotional thing, right? It's like people would eat ice cream when they depressed or when they really in their feelings about something.
I would eat crunchy stuff when I was stressed.
Yeah, that crunchy munch. I mean, $1 at the store.
I go through them dollar boxes like, oh Lord.
Exactly. But what does that look like, right? What does that look like? I'm talking about Amazon make it so easy for you because you can just go on there. You ain't even got to get your car. You ain't got to be near you. It's just already in your car.
It's already stored in the home.
Just buy it.
That's good. So how can we get out of the way of all of these accommodations?
Right.
You got to get the can out the nice thing.
You got to get the can out.
You got to start doing stuff that's making you uncomfortable.
You may have to take Facebook off your phone. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, right? What is robbing you of your purpose, right? Of your dreams, right? What is robbing you? What is that anchor that's keeping you in that same place when you think your motor is wide open? You feel like you running, 11, 12-hour days, but you ain't making no progress.
Right.
Right? What's the anchor that got you? You're putting in the work, but you ain't seeing no fruit. Yeah. Right? What's that anchor? Right? What got you tethered to it?
You know what? I was listening.
And hold on.
Go
but
ahead.
The thing that hurts you, or the thing that you struggle with the most to give up, that's probably your anchor. Right? If you're challenged on something, if you're challenged on sweets like you were, right? If you're challenged on money issues, if you're challenged on rejection or whatever, I don't know what it may be. Whatever you struggle with giving up is probably your anchor. Please.
No, yeah, I was making sure you was finished. Are we almost close on time? We got 5 minutes. Okay. So what I was thinking was I was watching this training earlier today, and he basically explained how Adam and Eve were in the garden, and here it was that they had access to all of this abundance. And the enemy, some type of way, figured out how to make them focus on the lack, right? And when they focused on the lack, which was basically this one tree,
right,
that they weren't supposed to eat of, they forgot about the every tree that they could have eaten from. And just from this entire discussion that we've had today, I think it made me see, living your dreams, right, from a completely different perspective. Because if we have to sacrifice certain things, that's all we're looking at. We're looking at the sacrifice. We're looking at the things that we have to give up, right? And the reality of it is, a lot of the stuff that we had to give up or sacrifice or adjust or do to be on the trajectory of living our dreams is like this big.
And it wasn't serving us.
It wasn't serving us, but it was so much smaller than what we have received.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And if I could say anything for all of you that are listening today or watching the replay, I would challenge you not to focus on the lack. If that was the very first thing that the enemy used to deceive us from day one, focusing on the lack. And he said in the training, he said, and he doesn't have any new tricks.
No.
Now that made my skin stand up and crawl, because what that means is since the beginning of time, Satan has been tripping us up with the same one bag, one trick. He got one trick in the bag. He gets us to focus on the lack, what we're missing, what we don't have, what we have to give up, right? Instead of the big picture of the fact that we were in a place of abundance.
Right. And Michelle said it on here. Stop focusing on the tree when God gave you the garden.
He gave us the whole garden with a whole bunch of trees.
Yeah.
And we decided
listen to the enemy
to focus on the lack.
That's what happened. The enemy said, this one will give you something different, right? And he wasn't lying. It just wasn't a good difference.
No, because everything that is bad, you know what I'm saying, isn't always bad for us. That sacrifice, may feel bad, but it's not bad for us. We needed that. And everything that is good isn't always good for you.
No, absolutely.
And I think if we just would decide that we're going to focus on the abundance, because the last time I checked, that's why Jesus came and died. Not just so that we could be saved, but that we could have life more abundantly. And to me, that means living my God-given dreams. Absolutely. That means me having access to any and all things. That means me living out my purpose. That means me serving others and doing it well, right? That means me impacting the nations. And so I can't have abundance if I'm focusing on the things that I don't have or the things that I have to give up.
Right.
I would much rather give them up freely, because I know that when I give up those small things, I have access now to abundance.
But you got to be focused on the abundance.
Absolutely. I am focusing on the bigger picture. I don't focus on fear. I don't focus on anxiety.
Yeah.
I don't focus on, what I have to sacrifice or what I have to give up.
Yeah.
I am focusing on big picture abundance.
Right.
And I really think as we round this out, that is really what the core and essence of what it is that we do. We stay focused on the abundance.
Yeah.
We don't care that we have to give up vacation time, or that we have to, okay, I got to travel for this, I got to do this. It don't, our kids aren't, a hindrance to what it is that we do. We choose to, bring them into the fold, right? Like everybody, like, I got my kids, got blah, blah, blah. No, you should be making these sacrifices for your kids, right?
Absolutely.
And if we can think of, living our dreams from that perspective, I think at the end of the day, all of this stuff that you're, screaming about, you got to sacrifice or you don't have, or that you have to give up, that fades to the black. It's no longer important anymore.
Because that noise is not louder than your desire.
No.
It's not louder than your dreams. It's not louder than your purpose.
Oh,
right?
Come on.
What are you going to turn the volume up on?
Amen.
What are you going to use to cut that anchor? Right? What are you going to use to go full throttle in the direction that God called you to, right? What are you going to use to build your love and your business?
All right. Well, I think we should end there. We are right on the head here at 8:00 Central Standard Time. I need to prepare my mind, heart, and spirit for tomorrow at the Live Your Dreams Live Conference. If I am not mistaken, I think I heard earlier today that you can actually still register for this conference and be here. Now, I don't know what act of God, if you're outside of Fayetteville, Arkansas, that you're going to have to go through to get here. But hey, if there's a way to get here, you should. If there's a desire to get here and you have not registered for this conference, I would suggest that you go to liveyourdreams2023.com and register for that conference and try to figure out how to get in the room. There's no virtual options, as there should not be, because the atmosphere and the environment matters. And I think that we've realized that over time. And Absolutely. If there's any way, we are always in the room. And you should start triggering your brain to believe and understand that there is power in being in the room.
And connecting with people
and connecting with like minds. Absolutely, because it's enough to have the audacity to try to pursue your dreams or live your dream. Mm-hmm. You need a community of people Absolutely. That are on the same trajectory, that have the same beliefs, and that'll continue to cheer you on when you hit obstacles and pitfalls along the way.
Right.
But if you can, get in the room. If you can't, I'm so sorry for you. We're gonna have an amazing time over the next 2 days. But we are appreciative of you for joining us. Again, I share it with everybody that you know. Inbox some of your friends, tell them they need to watch this episode. Share it on your pages. Make sure that if you're not already, you're following our Love and Business page on Facebook. Also, the Creative Meal, shout out there to Chrissy for setting us up with this podcast. Because I'm telling you right now, if she wasn't helping us, we ain't doing it. It just ain't happening. We need some behind the scenes action. So thank you, Chrissy, for your assistance each and every week. We appreciate it. Yep. So thank you guys for tuning in again for another episode of Love and Business. We look forward to seeing you again next week, live from yet another special location.
And we will be traveling again. And if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay and where you're watching it from, but please like and share.
Absolutely.
We want to continue to grow the community and help couples that are in love and business, right? We want to help continue to foster that because I think it's important. And I think you'll see that it's important too.
Absolutely. So with that, we will see you next week.
All right.